We arrived to Motril at 10 a.m. and the port is located on a long, narrow harbour wall and doesn't have a terminal. We had booked a tour to Granada with Spain day tours and meeting time was 10:45. The situation in the port was a bit chaotic, with people queuing for the shuttle bus and tour buses picking up people in this very narrow area. After around 20 minutes waiting time, our two mini coaches managed to make it to the pickup area.
Now here in this area. One of the main crops is here, mangoes del cielo. So mangoes is one of the important crops here. Chirimoya. Also, chirimoya is like it has a consistency a little bit of a pear, but a little bit creamier, and it tastes like apple custard. So it's a very, very important crop here. Really, really delicious. Is the penny beticas, but in certain areas it has different names for that local area. So the area that we'll be going through or seeing either side of us will be the Sierra Nevada. The top part of the Sierra Nevada, a beautiful nature park. It's also where we have the highest mountain of mainland Spain.
The driving time to Alhambra was around 1 hour and we drove through a quite interesting landscape. The big group was divided in 3 smaller groups with 14 people in each. When arriving to Alhambra, our 3 expert guides were waiting for us. At the entrance we had to show our passports. Daniel was our guide in Alhambra and we really enjoyed being shown around by him and to get to see all the highlights during 2.5 hours. Alhambra is situated on a plateau that overlooks the city of Granada. The word Alhambra means the red one in Arabic and was probably derived from the reddish color of the outer walls. Alhambra was built between 1238 and 1358 as one Islamic palatial city and later became a royal residence for Spain's monarchs. Alhambra consists of 3 main areas. We have the Generalife, the Alcazaba and the Nasrid palaces. The name Generalife comes from the Arabic Jannat al-Arif, or the garden of the architect. It was a summer palace of the Nasrid rulers. Today it is a mix of original Nasrid period elements as well as modern elements, especially in the gardens. Alcazaba is a fortress at the western tip of Alhambra and is the oldest part. The Palace of Charles V construction started 1527 but was left unfinished until 1967 when the palace was completed and got a roof. The really highlight of the Alhambra site is the Nasrid Palaces, and on your ticket you have a time stated, and that's when you need to enter the palaces. The Nasrid Palaces actually consist of 3 palaces. The first one is Mexwar, which is the oldest one in the entrance wing. Next you will get to Comares Palace, which is the most important palace, official residence of the Sultan, and where the throne room was located. The Patio de los Aranchas, or the Court of the Myrtles, is a central part of the Comares Palace and has a large pool, which is 34 meters long, in which the surrounding buildings are reflected. Inside the Comares Tower is the Hall of the Ambassadors, and it's the largest and most impressive interior space in the whole Alhambra. The walls are covered in detailed stucco and mosaic tile decorations. The floor is paved with tiles, and the ceiling has a wooden dome. The third palace is the Court of the Lions, and has got its name from the 12 lion sculptures around the central marble fountain on the courtyard. The arches and columns of the surrounding portico are arranged in a very complex and unique pattern. In one room you can see a 16-sided cupola in the shape of an 8-pointed star. In the Hall of the Kings, some small chambers have ceiling covered with leather that has been painted with pictorial scenes. After 2.5 hours in Alhambra with our very great guide Daniel, it was time to leave. We didn't see everything, but we saw all the highlights. The bus took us down to the center of Granada, and we had around 1 hour free time, and we chose to have a late lunch in the small restaurant Kiosca Latitas. We were back on the ship in Motril around 6 p.m. after a great tour with Spain day tours, and the total cost was €109 per person, excluding the lunch